So, good news for all you Indian cricket fans. The rain has finally stopped in Port of Spain. Clear blue skies. All the covers are out. Have been taken off. But the revised playing condition is that
out.
Play will begin at 10:45 p.m. IST, which is in the next 47 minutes from now. 67 overs are going to be bowled throughout the day. Now remember, if it begins at 10:45, that means T will be extended. The final session will also be extended. But remember, extending the final session also is a potential problem here because the light fades quickly in Port of Spain. And that is why it is going to be a very touch and go situation if India have to go for the victory today. So, yet again, for people who are joining us now, we have got a breaking news update from Port of Spain, 10:45 p.m. IST. That is the situation that play will begin. After that, 67 overs will be bowled. But remember, if 52 overs are bowled and West Indies have not lost many wickets, the last hour or 15 overs, whatever comes later, if the teams take it, then you can see only 52 overs also being bowled, looking at the weather condition and the light situation that is there in Port of Spain at this point. So, now the question is one session enough for India? This particular time period, is it enough for India to take the remaining 8 wickets? Or Harshit, do you see West Indies hang in there?
Siddharth, 8 wickets in a space of what? If you're looking at 2 sessions here, firstly, if you're looking at 2 sessions here, you're looking at, let's say, the second session of the day being at least a 30-over session, and then the third session could be 36, 37 overs, 37. But again, if you don't complete 30 overs in the second session, then of course the second session becomes like a 37, 38 over session, provided there is enough light out there. Having said that, Siddharth, if let's say, and you aren't looking at the second session being more than 30, 32 overs at the best, 30 overs taking 8 wickets seems it's a little difficult to me because you're looking at a wicket once every 2.5 overs.
Okay, I'll give you a reason why there can be some sense of optimism here. Because Mohammad Siraj yesterday, he took 5 wickets in 54 minutes. And the remaining 5 wickets that were taken all came in 54 minutes. And remember, the West Indies batting, I mean, there's no disrespecting them whatsoever, but then you have to understand that they bat only until Jason Holder. The tail bats quite deep. The tail is quite long, and that is why if you take 4 wickets at least, then it will be easier for the Indian bowlers to wrap the tail up, because remember, only until Jason Holder you have batting, and the pitch as compared to the last 4 days, it's spinning. There is a lot more sea movement. It's been under the cover, so there will be a bit of moisture also. Because remember, it has been pouring non-stop in Port of Spain ever since yesterday night. And one whole session was washed out because it was torrential rainfall. But kudos to Port of Spain, the ground staff and the facilities that they have upgraded. Because remember, a similar kind of a rain would have meant abandonment of the test match totally. It happened in 2016, the lessons were learned. And that is why now you're seeing that 67 overs will be bowled. I honestly think that now the West Indies chase, if they want to chase this, it's out of the equation.
Yeah, the West Indies chase is out of the equation, and which is where I think, the vulnerability also lies for the West Indies, because now they know that they can't put in a chase here. Then all they've got to do is defend, and defend. Now, what that does at times, Siddharth, is that if you're in that mind zone of just defending the ball, you often end up playing the wrong shot. There are occasions wherein there are runs for the taking, but you go for a defensive stroke at times, and this is where you see batters ultimately edge also on many an occasion. So that could make things tricky, if you ask me, for West Indies. But even then, I feel with whatever batting that we saw from them yesterday, and given that they've got 3-4 proper batters still, and no disrespect to them, they don't have the best batting lineup. But even then, I think the West Indies, they will feel the pressure for a large part. But even then, I think they have something to play for here.
Okay, so there is Janaki Raman and all who are asking me and all of us, what is the forecast for the rest of the day? But even Rookie Techie is saying that West Indies next round, rain will come again at 11:30. Well, we did check the weather in Port of Spain, and yes, there is a spell of rain expected around 12 a.m. IST. That's around midnight time. So remember, the rain breaks in Port of Spain have not been very short. It's at least half an hour or 1 hour of play has been
And
stopped.
incidentally, all of those breaks have happened after there's been a wicket.
Yes. So that's why if you look at it, there is a spell of rain expected later in the day, but we hope it stays away. We have seen the worst of the rain, that is over. But if there is yet another rain spell and West Indies have somehow hung in for 1.5 hours, then I don't think there is enough time for India to get a result in this. And why have, and in the preview, Harshit, I was told that, okay, why did the test match come to 5 days? Primarily because 3 hours combined of day 3 and day 4 have been lost.
Yeah.
So that is why it is going to be a very, very tough situation. If the rain arrives, then I think West Indies will be saved by it. But if it doesn't arrive, then I think India will really go for the wickets in a big, big way. And remember, there is optimism for them because Mohammad Siraj took 5 wickets. I mean, that entire session, 5 wickets in 54 minutes. 54 minutes.
Yeah.
So, if they can repeat that and with the pitch now offering some turn, then I think India can take a 2-0 lead. Because remember, if this test is drawn, 8 crucial points are lost for India in this
All you'll
WTC
get is
cycle.
4 points.
Yes, so that is why it is very important that India... Now, Harshit, looking at the situation, and the light is also good.
Yeah.
Should they immediately play with... Should they employ a pace battery or should they start with spin?
I think Ashwin is starting. Come what may, Ashwin is starting from one end, and I think it'll be Mohammad Siraj from the other end. Of course, Siraj, you'll look at, let's say, because he would have been well, refreshed now. His batteries would have been recharged. You expect him to give you at least about 7 overs, let's say, in that first spell that he can bowl, perhaps. Maybe not more than that, given that he's a seamer. But I do expect Ashwin to be bowling for a long, long time from the other end.
I mean, yes, Ashwin will bowl, but then how will you bowl Siraj? Suppose if he wants to bowl 7-8 overs. But remember, he is there in the ODI side also. He's there in the ODI squad, Mohammad Siraj. He's not there in the T20.
In the T20, he's definitely not. ODI, I can't recall at the moment.
So that is why Siraj's workload needs to be monitored. Because if he breaks down in the ODIs and suppose he suffers an injury that puts him at a very crucial time. Remember, from August itself, now you're in a very crucial stage where you will be praying no injuries happen because Siraj is one of your spearheads. You do not want to ensure that he gets injured now because Bumrah is slowly going to come back. We might see the announcement of the Ireland squad soon, the tour of Ireland. So that is why we have to now pray that Siraj doesn't bowl much. But yes, if India really have to go for the win, then as Harshit rightly pointed out, Siraj and Ashwin in tandem. But Ashwin needs support from even Jadeja also because in the previous innings, I mean, Jadeja was far too guilty of...
bowling it very full. Very full. He wasn't creating half chances also. But I think it was a valid point that was made by one of our family members also yesterday in the post-match show. That he was bowling with the new ball, relatively new. The ball hadn't, or it's still not that old a ball. So maybe, of course, and now that the surface is gripping, the ball's gripping much more. Maybe now Jadeja will play a much bigger role in these 2 sessions of play that is left.
Yep. But remember, it's going to be a test of Rohit's proactive captaincy because remember, he's been in this role full time ever since the Border Gavaskar Trophy. At least there, the conditions allowed him to ensure that he could set the field accordingly. He could go by his own pace. But here, 67 overs. I am saying you're not playing 67 overs. You're playing 52 overs. Because as I said, 15 overs or the last hour, whichever comes later, if West Indies are only 3 or 4 down and India cannot take the remaining wickets, then I have a feeling they will go for the draw, for the handshake. Light is also an issue at Port of Spain. The light dips very quickly here. Say by 2:30 it will be dark. By 3 o'clock it will be really difficult. So that is why India will really have to bowl out of their skins in this session. If they can get 4 to 5 wickets, then only I feel India will win this match. But at this point, I'd said 68% India win, 3%, 65% India win.
You'd said
32% for a draw. I think that has now increased, my friend, because...
to 50%?
I will say 45%. I'm now counting out a West Indies win.
Yeah, I think it changes. Now West Indies win is out of question.
Because I know that one of our family members, Zakaria, was like saying, what if West Indies chase it down? But Zakaria, day 5...
See, they're left with 289 runs.
More to get. And 67 overs means going at well over 4 runs an over. In this entire test match, even in Dominica, they did not even go well over 4. So to expect them to chase it down in a 5th day of a test match when they have never gone well over 2.5, it's asking a bit too much, Zakaria. So I don't see them chasing it down. But yes, as Harshit pointed out, if they go into a defensive mold, then the chances of India picking wickets becomes easy. I mean, you remember, Harshit, in Delhi itself in 2015, Duplessis, AB de Villiers and Hashim Amla, block.
It was in Delhi.
Yes.
In Delhi, yes.
143 overs, 142 runs.
Again, an ABD did play those marathon innings, I think, twice in his career.
But he got out.
Exactly.
Yes.
But again, the problem with West Indies at the moment is that West Indies don't have that one talismanic figure in Test cricket they can look to, especially with the bat.
Yep.
You can look to a Jason Holder, let's say,
Yeah.
but that is also predominantly Holder as a bowler, and as a batter, we're not quite sure. So this is where, this West Indies side is a side in transition. Yes, Craig Brathwaite has that experience, but he's now in the pavilion.
Yes.
You don't have that one player.
I think the biggest wicket that India got yesterday was Craig Brathwaite. He was the only one who could survive.
He gave
at
his
this
wicket
point.
away.
Yes, bad
He gave
shot.
bad
again.
shot.
But
Bad
Rookie
shot.
Techie is saying, forget the weather. Those 20 overs with the old ball and waiting game in first innings costed India the game. Imagine if India had those 20 overs in
Declaration
the...
early, basically, you're saying. Is
He's
Rookie
not
Techie-
talking about the declaration. The old
The first
ball,
innings he's saying, okay.
old ball waiting.
Uh-huh.
They didn't take the new ball immediately.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with Rookie Techie. I mean, I
But
normally
don't you
never agree with
remember-
them, but this time I agree with
but,
them.
But also I do remember, and there was, I think, when India took the new ball, I think it was Mukesh who got the ball to move around. Then there was a wicket, and then of course there was another rain stoppage that was there. I'm not too sure because we saw it from both the captains. I think
No one took the new ball
No,
immediately.
exactly.
No one took the new ball. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, normally you would expect in the modern era that if you want a wicket, if you want to break a partnership, you would take the new ball. But both the captains did not do that. And that is why it is going to be a big problem. So Ash will be the key, guys. Also, Siraj, Akash, of course, Ravichandran Ashwin is the key.
Interesting question. I think it was Janki Raman again asking about Jaydev Unadkat. In fact, this was something I was just about to speak, and let me know your thoughts as well, Siddharth. Do you think, I frankly, given where this match is right now at this juncture, I really don't think Jaydev Unadkat will be given the ball.
Yeah, it looks like it. And remember, even in these two tests, he's actually struggled for penetration, if you look at it. And he's struggled to create chances. Of course, in Dominica, he didn't even get much of a bowling because the wicket was a slow, low-rank turner. But here in Port of Spain, he's tried, but more than him, Mukesh Kumar has actually been much more aggressive and has taken, effective. Jaydev, unfortunately, I don't know. What has gone wrong with Jaydev?
I think he did bowl the first 3 overs yesterday. I think he bowled 3 overs yesterday. Again, very disciplined, not like he was giving away runs or anything. But again, you need something else. When the pitch isn't assisting you as a captain, you're looking for a little more in a bowler, which perhaps I think at times Jaydev doesn't really offer you, and he becomes too predictable at times as a bowler.
And remember, what is Jaydev Unadkat's role? Do you want him as a containing bowler? Do you want him as a wicket-taking bowler?
He can be a very good containing bowler. But right now, that's not the situation.
No,
That is
it's
not the situation. He is a variation bowler, we know that. He's got those cutters, he's got that variation, but again, not in this format of the game does that come in
I
handy.
think if I have to answer Janki Raman's question, is this Jaydev Unadkat's last chance? I think with a heavy heart, I'll have to say yes. I think this is the last chance that we're seeing Jaydev Unadkat, because the problem that I see is, what if the other senior bowlers come back? Like Shami.
And they will come back.
They will come back.
They will come back.
I don't know about Shami. Let's take a call on Shami's future a bit later, because Bumrah will definitely be back.
But Bumrah in tests, I have my doubts.
I think they will have to. If Bumrah doesn't play tests, you have lost your ultimate spearhead.
The only thing is, again, with the case of Bumrah, again, we don't know how many overs firstly his back can take. And of course, test cricket will then have to come way after, he is fit enough to play a full game of T20 or an ODI as well. ODI also, from 4 overs to 10, it's a big ask.
Big ask. And
In
remember,
Test cricket, you're asking a bowler to go 3 times further than, let's say, the starting point, if that is T20 cricket.
I can understand the fear that is there, because Bumrah has been out of action for a long time. His injuries have been very frequent as well.
And you're looking at you're looking at white over formats now over the next 12 months.
12 months.
You're looking at the World Cup, the Asia Cup, and then of course you're looking at the T20 World Cup next year.
Well, AR is like saying, rain saving India from a good beating on day 5. Let's go, West Indies. Wow. Yeah, I think. See, if there was 89 overs, 90 overs, we all said that maybe West Indies, anywhere in the range of 3 to 8%, they would have a chance. But then, why nothing? No bias at all at this point in time. But how can a team that has not gone well over 2.5 in the 2 tests suddenly be asked to go at 4.5 in the chase on a final day? So that is why Akash Bharadwaj, I'll just take this before we wrap up. And Janaki Raman saying Ishan Kishan to the broadcast says Rishabh Pant will not be available for the World Cup and he's hopeful for IPL next year. Very sad. But Janaki Raman, we already knew.
World Cup is a known factor. In fact, next year IPL also
half, I think he may not feature.
Exactly. It is a long recovery for him.
Because you have to get him into match time. You can't immediately slot him into this.
He needs to be playing some games as well, which you expect to be played at the NCA perhaps.
Maybe the Ranji, the fag end of the Ranji. That's
maybe the fag end of the Ranji.
That's, you're stretching it a bit too far. Because remember, Ranji is from January to March this time.
Yeah,
so maybe towards February, March, if Delhi are in the knockout contest, maybe then he can feature for that. So that is why Akash Bharadwaj is saying, sir, do you think India should have groomed Umran in domestic for red ball? See, when Umran got the chance in the India A series versus New Zealand A, he really struggled. Let us be very, very honest about it. He struggled for control. He struggled for rhythm. And that is why I think you have to... The negative effects of fast-tracking anybody from IPL is this. Umran needs 4 to 5 solid years in the domestic circuit. I'm sorry. IPL is not your
he's going to be doing something which AajTak is doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Even though, let's say, he's not been, for what reason, I don't know quite. It's a mystery why AajTak isn't, let's say, in the reckoning at the moment. But what he's doing good is, and good to himself is, that even, let's say, after IPL got over, he's been playing county cricket now. He is a newfound trait of his is his ability to bowl with the new ball in T20 as well. He's no longer just somebody who can be used at the death. And this is something we learned, let's say, in those 2 series that he played here in India. The New Zealand series, especially when we saw him bowl at the top. So again, Harshdeep's honing his skills with Umran. Yes, you feel it, his case and him. He's really got to be taken care of very well. You need to plan for him very well. I do like one thing, and that's probably the one rare time where you like a player not being included in a certain squad, and that is Umran Malik not being included in the Asian Games squad. For me, that is an indicator that he's still in the minds of the selectors for the World Cup. Will he make the 15 or not? You don't know, but definitely if you're looking at a pool of about 18 players, 20 players, he is there.
The Asia Cup squad is your World Cup squad.
I was talking about the Asian Games. The Asian Games.
We knew that Umran would not go to the Asian Games because
but you're right. But you're
somewhere
right.
down the line, there are plans that he won't feature in the playing 11, but he could be there in the squad. So my gut feeling is, whatever is the Asia Cup squad that will be picked, that's your World Cup squad. With one or two minor
changes here or there. Otherwise, you expect the same squad to be there.
So Mayank Tapliyal on Harmanpreet. Harshit is going to do a video on Harmanpreet. It's a big development. So stay tuned for that video. Harshit will be doing it very, very shortly. So subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Download the Sports mobile app for all the information you need in English and Hindi. Bye-bye.